Hey friends, we told you that we'd be back.
Yes, and here we are. We came back.
Yeah. And I also hit this. And ta-da!
Ah, you were hiding your rainbow hair?
Yes.
I love your rainbow hair. It's
And
beautiful.
exactly.
So, do you remember that we were talking about temperature and how it affects molecules?
Yes.
Today we're going to continue talking about that with a little
Freeze.
yes, freezing versus melting. So, Avery, do you know why things freeze or why they melt?
The freeze.
Okay.
It's because all the molecules get together and then they squeeze up, and that's why. And then when you open up the fridge makes it like get the molecules, and then it just squeezes it up, and then it gets all freezes.
Who told you that?
Well, I did tell you that I have two brains.
You did tell me you have two brains. You're absolutely right.
One of my brains think that I told you that,
Uh-huh.
and my friend.
Well, I do remember you saying that you have
And by
two
the
brains.
way, I have a science brain.
So one brain's a regular brain and the other brain is a science brain? Okay. Well, you know what? You're actually right. That is pretty much what happens when things freeze. Last time we talked about cold molecule, like when a molecule gets cold, it does what?
Freeze, like
It starts to move really very
slow.
Yes. It moves really, really slow. And as it moves slower and slower, you're right, it gets denser and the molecules stack on top of themselves and create a solid structure. That is what happens when things freeze.
That's not what I meant.
Oh, that's not what you meant, but that's what you described, and that's exactly what happens.
Yeah, but what I mean is of the fridge. Of the fridge, it makes it all the molecules. It doesn't stack it up. It makes it into rows. And when it gets at the last one, it just puts a little dot right there.
Well, I mean, it's the same. They make rows, but the rows go up.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's stacking, essentially.
But one of the kills, they just sometimes just get one at the very, very top.
Yeah, and do you know what things can freeze?
Like Molecule Man of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur.
I know it. And you know what, Avery? Things can freeze in the refrigerator if your refrigerator isn't set at the proper temperature. And so it's a little bit colder. Things maybe at the top of the shelf might freeze versus things at the very bottom, especially if a vent up there is blocked. So good job, Avery.
Thank you, friends.
So Avery, did you know that there is something called a freezing point?
You
didn't? Well, a freezing point is the temperature that something has to reach in order for it to freeze. Everything has a different freezing point. Water freezes at 32 degrees Fahrenheit, but milk takes a lower temperature to freeze than water does. So it's around 30 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, it's just like some lemons do look like that.
Some lemons?
Yeah, you can freeze some lemons.
You can. And you know what? I don't know what temperature they need to be at to freeze, but
I think
everything has its own
20%.
20%. But everything does have its own freezing point. So you were really good about telling our friends at home about what freezing is. What about melting? Do you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the molecules get really, really hot, and then they just get to unstick.
Okay.
And then they just get back, not down to up. They just get down.
How do they move? Are they still moving really slow? Are they still doing that?
No, they're going really fast.
Ah, okay. So?
Like I go really fast because my Pumas.
Your shoes make you go really fast.
Yeah.
Yes.
Faster than you.
Oh, is that a challenge?
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to have to see about that. Mommy can outrun you. I know it. But back to our science.
Yeah.
Avery, you're dead on today, girlfriend. I love it.
About what?
About what makes things freeze and what makes things melt. And there is a melting point, although it's not as specific as freezing. It's basically the melting point is anything that would cause something to change states of matter.
Like states of matter, like blue and red make purple.
Oh, yes, that is definitely a change, but not quite what Mommy's talking about. So states of matter refer to what something is. If it's a solid, like
Or
say, yeah, solid is something that's hard, like this is solid.
like
ice,
a rock.
Rocks, good job.
Well, I'm not sure about ice.
Well, ice it's a solid. It's the solid form of water.
Well, not really. It's because they can also melt. It's because of sunlight.
You're right. And that's exactly what we're talking about today.
And they also can melt on tables.
Yes. So
tables are even solid.
So that's a change in matter. So some things like ice can go from being a solid to being liquid, which would be water.
Yeah, like solid things are just like something like some I'm not sure.
That's okay. Can you think of anything that are liquid?
Sure.
What do you got for me?
Water.
Water?
Wait. Water from the sky.
Rain? Absolutely. So we have one more state of matter, and that is gas. Avery, can you think of any gases?
That when we pump up our car and then we ready to roll at Gigi's.
You mean putting gas in the car so that we can travel? Yes, that is gas. Different type of gas. When we're talking, because that gas is actually a liquid. This gas comes when we boil a liquid. You know how when we boil water, or if the bath water is too hot and you see all of the smoke and the vapors in the air?
What are vapors?
When you see steam, you know what steam is?
Yeah.
So that is gas.
That is like you like the hot tap. I like the cold tap.
Yes, Mommy does like a hot tap. She likes to see steam coming off the water, but that is gas.
I like to see cold.
You like to see when it's cold?
Yeah. But sometimes I like it to go both taps warm.
Okay. Warm is good too.
Yeah.
It's going to be really hard for us to show our friends gas in a video, but what we can do is show them liquids and solids. So today, for our tasty treat, we're going to make...
I think I know about what of a solid.
What?
That Spider-Man ball.
Yes, the ball is a solid. You're right.
Yeah, but some do have some gas, like my soccer balls.
It has air inside, yes. So really quick,
air is like some kind of gas.
Yeah, good job. So for today's tasty treat, we're going to be making...
lavender lemonade.
No, a lavender lemon ice cream.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
And we're going to be doing it in a bag. Did you know?
It looks a little weird.
Well, there's nothing in it yet, but did you know that you could make ice cream in a bag, Avery?
Well, what do my brains do?
One of your brains? Is it your science brain that knows that?
Yeah.
Okay.
My regular brain does.
Oh, remember, I need you to
But Mom, can we eat it?
Absolutely. What's the point of making ice cream you can't eat? We can get 2 spoons and eat it right out of the bag.
See, I'll get the 2 spoons.
Well, first, let's make our ice cream.
But first, aren't you forgetting something? Our science experiment.
Oh, yes. So, since we're talking about changing matter and why things melt or don't melt, we're going to explore that with some ice cubes.
What?
So this is it'll be pretty quick and easy and a lot of fun.
How about first we need
And
to
you
get to the lab?
And you know what I thought you were going to ask? I thought you were going to say, what about our brains at work question?
Oh, yeah. What about our brains at work question?
So today's brains at work question is there a fourth state of matter?
Yes.
And if so, what is it?
Yes.
Okay, so what do you think it is?
I think that it's called like some bubbles.
So you think that bubbles is the fourth state? You know what? That's a pretty good answer.
Because when you have a bath, people put some bubbles.
Yep.
And then you just like
and they go
all
everywhere.
the bubbles go out.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
Like that.
And then you can make, that means that you can make any kind of person you like. Like I chose Santa Claus.
When you put bubbles on your face? Yeah.
I think that the bubble should be my beard and then I should be Santa Claus.
You're a silly girl. Friends, what about you guys at home? What do you think? Is there a fourth state of matter? And what is it? So let's do this.
They stick with mine.
They're going to stick with yours?
Yeah.
I mean, you're pretty smart and you've been on it all day, so.
So when I get in the bath, some people just put some bubbles like my dad. And then I cover them with my hand. And then I put a hat right here. And then.
You're silly girl.
And then I was like, ho, 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 I'm Santa Claus.
Good job. Okay, friends, let's go ahead. The first thing that we're going to do, since we're going to do lavender lemon, we want to infuse our half and half. And it takes a little time to infuse it. We should get a little bit of a better result if we do it that way. But you can cheat and add a little bit of lavender extract and some fresh lemon to your half and half. So let's go ahead and get that done. And then we'll have to give it a couple of minutes so that it can get nice and cold. We want it to be cold before we start the process.
Ho, ho.
Really? Santa Claus? We'll do that. And then after we finish that, we'll catch back up with you in the lab.
With ho, ho, ho.
Does it sound like a good idea?
Yes.
Yes. All right, friends. See you in the lab.
Ho, ho, ho.
Welcome to the lab, friends.
Yes, friends. Welcome to the lab.
I'm Science Mom.
I'm TV.
And
we have
ready.
Our 2 ice cubes, and we have our soap that it goes open and shut.
Yes. So for today's experiment, it's going to be very quick, Avery, and very simple, only because it doesn't take long for any of our ice cream stuff to prepare. So the faster we do this, the faster we can get to making ice cream. I know, it's yummy. So for today's science experiment, we're going to be talking about how quickly things melt. We've got 2 ice cubes that are already starting to melt a wee bit. But do you remember inside we talked about how everything has a different freezing point?
Yes. So we're going to put one of the salt. So what I'm going to tell you is we're going to put the salt on one of them.
Yes, actually, that's exactly right. So regular water has a freezing point of 32 degrees Fahrenheit.
And by the way, don't we use those for eggs?
We don't use ice for eggs, no.
No, I mean the salt for eggs.
Yeah, well, salt is a seasoning. So yes, you can use it to season your eggs, your chicken, any type of food.
Well,
really.
I got one.
What's that?
Like fish food.
Now, well, we don't eat fish food, and the salt might not be good for fish, especially if you have snails in your tank.
Ew.
So really quickly, just so you know, salty water has a higher freezing point than regular water. it's going to be 28 degrees Fahrenheit. So which one do you want to put the salty water on?
That one's just about to melt.
Do that
so
one.
I'm going to do that one.
So since, got it? A little bit? Oh, that's good, that's good.
There we go. That's the cute.
So the science behind this experiment is that since water has a lower freezing point than regular water,
I think this
our
one is
ice
going to win.
cube with salt on it should melt faster than our normal ice cube that doesn't have anything on it, because the salt is going to lower the temperature or the freezing point,
Good point.
of our ice cube.
Great point. But I would be fiercer with this one.
What's that?
A little bit more.
A little bit more. Okay, I'm gonna do that.
And then I'll stir it up.
Well, so now what we get to do is we get
I
to
gotta
wait.
stir it up.
Listen. So now what we get to do is actually wait. So what we're gonna do is,
Oh my gosh.
I know, I already see a lot more water coming. So we're going to show our friends, okay?
Friends, look. So, friends, which one do you think that will be going a little faster? This one, the one with no salt, or the one with salt?
Can you see any differences between the one with salt and the one with no salt, Avery?
Yes.
What do you see?
That look here. There's a little flakes right there, like snowflakes. But over here, they're not.
Well, what about any observations on which one is melting faster?
Yes, this one.
Well, how can you tell?
It's because look. It's getting much more to the 100.
So you're trying to say, oh, I see it. So right here, there's a nice little line that shows you how much water is in that one, but you don't actually have that in this one. There's only water right around the cube, nowhere else, huh?
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so Avery, that's the only science experiment I have for you guys today. I mean, it's our cube that has no ice. The water's barely covering the bottom, where we've got a pretty good amount of water in our salted ice cube.
We should see what amount of water it is.
I don't think it's at one of the measurable lines just yet. Almost, though. Almost.
It's almost at 100 now.
Well, the 100's way up here. It's closer to being at like the 10 mark.
I think it's about
10 milliliters.
I think it's going to be at 100.
Maybe. Well, Avery, are you ready
Yeah.
to head back to the kitchen?
Yeah.
And let's make some ice cream. Okay, friends, we're back. We have our mixture of half and half vanilla. We've got some lemon in here and a little bit of lavender.
Yeah.
It's nice and cool. We've got a bag that has 3 cups of ice in it, and now we have to add our salt to it.
Yes.
Avery's cheating. She called in reinforcements, which is Dad, to help her shake this ice cream for 10 minutes. Do you guys think you can do it?
Yes. And by the way, he's also a chef, and that he will be a little crazy. But not that matters. We can still make this happen of ice cream.
Alrighty. Now, can you pour the salt in the bag?
This?
Yeah.
I can.
We're using pink Himalayan sea salt. We've got 2 third cups. We're going to put that in there. And as we've already learned, the salt is going to make the ice cubes do what, Avery?
Well, it's going to make it go melting a little faster.
It's going to make it melt a wee bit faster. So now, I need you to put this in the bag.
This?
Yeah.
Inside?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you ready?
If you say so.
Now you and Dad get to work. Your job is to shake it, shake it, shake it non-stop for 10 minutes.
Ooh, I can do that.
Let's go.
I got it.
I know it.
Ow, ow.
Okay.
Whew. I want to taste this.
Ooh. All right, I'm going to rinse the bag off.
Wow.
I'll be right back.
Not really. You saw it.
The camera. Okay, so before we taste, listen, guys. So, friends, we did 10 minutes is what we were supposed to do. We did about 7 minutes and 30 seconds because our hands were so cold.
And we needed to lick the salt. I like the salt.
I know you like the salt. This is the most work I've ever put into ice cream before in my life. But before we taste it, we have to answer our brains at work question.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember what it was, Avery?
Mm-hmm.
What was the brains at work question?
There's salt. I don't know, but I just remember a little bit.
We talked about 3 stages of matter, and the question was: is there a 4th stage of matter, and if so, what is it? Dad, we'll ask Dad since he's here. You ready?
It was bubbles.
Avery says that there is, in fact, a 4th stage of matter, and it is bubbles.
Yay!
Well, no, that's what you said. Now I'm asking Dad, is there a 4th stage of matter, and if so, what is it?
Yes.
Okay, tell our friends.
What
Bubbles.
Well, you guys are half right. There is, in fact, a 4th stage of matter, but it is not bubbles. It's plasma. And I wish I could explain plasma in an easy way, but I can't. It is, plasma is a mix of gas and actually heavily ionized gas and electrons, free moving electrons. That makes plasma.
But before we have to taste, don't forget to put on our sprinkles.
You're moving on to tasting?
Yes.
Fair enough.
First, we need our sprinkles.
All right, so add our sprinkles. That's good, that's good, that's good. That's good, good job. All right, here, now for the moment of truth. Let's taste our ice cream.
Ooh, I got a heart.
Oh, ready? 3.
First, we need to smell.
2, 1. Ooh, it's very lemony and lavendery. It's actually good.
Yummy.
You like it?
You know what I think we should do?
What?
Get a napkin?
It's pretty tasty. I think that we should go ahead and put this in the freezer, see if it gets a little bit harder, but it's really good soft serve right now. Thanks for joining us again, friends. We will see you next week. And as always, don't forget to
like and subscribe to our whole YouTube channel.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, and please share it with a friend. Bye.
Bye.
Are you going to eat it all?
Yes. God loves you too, and God always will love you.